welcome to the D&D Information Portal. Got something new for you here. Some interesting stuff. Start off with, we got a new book. This is Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Now, if you've been missing your Dragonlance, we're back in Dragonlance, baby. Creating characters. You want to start right from Dragonlance, right here, creating characters in there, and we're going to step you through all the different areas that we're going to be dealing with, and going to be a campaign in here. And as usual, the book is full, chock full, of all sorts of information, pictures, and creatures, monsters, NPCs, maps, map of the world with a giant pull-out version. If you have been missing your Dragonlance, new Dragonlance book is out. Now, not only is there this version of the Dragonlance book, there's also this version of the Dragonlance. This is the special edition. You know, as the special editions go, I think this is probably my favorite one in quite some time. That nice helm with the shiny kind of foil cover, but it's matte and everything at the same time, and say, you're not spending much time on those books. Weren't you spending much time on those books? Well, the books is going to give you the campaign. You know the drill on that, right? But there's a new enhancement that we have that might be something you're looking for. Say you've got somebody who's into Dragonlance, but they're not just into Dragonlance and D&D. They're also into board games. They're also into board games. So what do we have here? Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, Deluxe Edition. So what does Deluxe Edition mean? Well, you zip open this stuff on the top. I've obviously opened it already because I need to see what was in it. And inside, you get, first of all, the Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. A third cover. This is a nice foil dragon attack cover. Other than that, it's the same as the other two books. They're all the very same. Well, we also have a new DM screen with the, well, it's going to be wide with the destructive Dragon Queen stuff on the player's side. And on the DM side, as usual, all sorts of information for you. We're talking about the creatures that we have, the status effects we have, encounter distance, cover, blah, blah, blah. You know, all the things that you need when you're running a campaign. Say, okay, yeah, okay, that's nice. It's DM screen and a book, but like, what? That's an awfully big box for DM screen and a book. What else is in there? You can run the campaign. This is a regular D&D campaign. Or you could choose to run the campaign and intersperse it with episodes out of this game box, which is going to give you a war game. And it is, and in the vein of the other D&D games that have been coming out lately, all the different box sets, it is players versus the game. There's no DM required to play this game. So you don't need the book. You don't need to be playing a D&D campaign. You can just play this. And we've got sheets of counters, sheets that have pieces for play as well as counters. Those are all different tiles. There are more. What we have here is a set of dividers that you could put in your game box to divide up different cards so it's easier to find the different card sets. And then we have the heroes. Now you can choose to use the heroes that we have here on the card. You can punch them out and use those. Or you can flip over to the back side, which is just generic hero. Then you can use the characters that you're playing the role-playing game, playing the D&D campaign with, can come into here. And there are 2 books. So I'm going through the rules. And then there's a scenario book. The scenario book is what's going to tie in with your D&D Dragonlance campaign. And there's a whole bunch of different tiles that you set up, and it tells you how to set these tiles up. And these are where the different battles are going to take place. Each one of these is double-sided, so you've got different options there. So there's a lot of variety in this game. And we have 6 different figures. And they're plastic figures. They look kind of like metal. That's how they've been painted. They've been painted to look like they're all pewter figures. And we have 6 of them in here. with this, which are the 6 characters that are baked into the game. But you don't need to use them. You can use your own characters that you've already got, that your players are playing. And then we have tokens. Many different kinds of tokens. These ones are all bright orange, and they're different shapes. There's ones with wedges on both ends. There's one with wedges on both ends. There's one with the indents on both edges to indicate the different kinds of units that you have. And then we have the attack dice there. And we have more tokens. So you're tokened up, believe me. And then we also have decks of cards. These are event cards. Literally says on it, start here with this pack. And if you get into the Equins, this is the War Engine Veteran pack. And then we have another one that is the Legendary pack. And these ones will get added into this deck once you progress to the higher level. And the same thing with the other decks, which are your little cards. So these ones, again, start here. These are the ones this pack you open to start. And then after, you got Veteran and Legendary. These get added into these decks. So you're able to customize your decks as you go along. You set this up based on the scenario book. And it's going to give you stuff like, look at this one. It's going to show you how to set up your battlefield using the different battlefields themselves. And along with that, you're going to use a combination of these. And you can see in there how there's the big cards, and then there's little ones that go attaching off them all around, and that's how you set up the battlefield. And it shows you how many of each type of force, the red ones and the purple ones, how many of the tokens you put on everywhere. And then you play the game. Your heroes are going to take turns, and they have so many actions they can take a turn. And actions will cause them to gain and lose stress. And if anybody gets to the point where they need to advance their stress meter and they can't, that's it, you've lost. So you're going to have to manage that. These cards are both cards that have actions on them, and on the back they'll just have one of the 6 abilities. So this one is a strength card. If you want to use the strength ability for your character, you choose to just throw away a card that is strength. It doesn't matter what it says on the other side. As long as it's a strength card, you can use your strength affinity ability that time. And so you use that to affect the outcomes of the battles. Because basically what you're trying to do is win the battles against the Dragon Queen on all the fronts you can to beat the scenario. And if you do that, then you win. And then your DM would say, okay, now we'll go back to the regularly scheduled campaign and continue playing there. So basically what this does is allows you to enhance your D&D campaign, because you're playing not only the D&D RPG, rolling the dice and making tests against your charisma, persuasion, against your strength, athletics, etc., and doing this stuff in there. You could also go to the battlefields and then have the actual battles set up, and they play out, and they can affect your campaign, and vice versa. With this, it all ties together, and what you're doing in this affects what you're doing in the books. So again, in that deluxe collector's edition, you get the awesome DM screen with the scenes of dragons laying waste to everything, and you get the custom cover book. The only way you can get this cover is in that deluxe set. So the one with the foil, shiny foil dragon attack, that's from the deluxe collector's edition. And also, if you hurry, it's available starting in the next few days. So also, December 6th, these ones will be available at your friendly local gaming store or at your online retailer. And also you can buy the digital version if you just want to go on D&D online and have just the digital and not actually have the physical copy of the book. And if you can't find that one, you will definitely be able to find this one, the basic cover, the default shiny slick cover. And as I said, there are how to create a character and a whole campaign series going through here. The campaign series here will tie into the box set. You don't need the box set. Don't be thinking that, well, I got the book and I can't play it without the box set. No. You can play D&D fine with just the book. You don't need this. This adds another dimension to the play. It brings those battles into the forefront, right? You actually see them. You're not just drawing them out on paper and imagining them. You would actually see the battle. You can play it out. And maybe it plays out a little differently than it would have, not only do you have an amazing D&D campaign. You have a physical game box, and you can lay it out and you actually play it and you can see it. It's more tactile, more visual, more real world than just the imagination of the game. Wizards of the Coast sent all this stuff along for me to tell you about, so I'm telling you so you can go out and buy your own copy and get it before they're gone, and then we'll all be playing Dragonlance Warrior of the Kryn, Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. That's what the box looks like. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to your friendly local gaming store and support them. We'll see you next time.